Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Here comes the. You ain't built for a skirt as a nigga can be. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming for ya. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I come for ya. It's gonna sound like here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. It is week 2 of the NFL season, and we are here ready to rock and roll with you guys. Welcome to the Gridiron Gang, brought to you by the Betting News Network. So excited to have you guys with us. Happy Sunday. We already got Goats in chat. Excited to have you guys here. We've got a frozen Shaggy, which we'll put him back down, but that's all good. Excited to have you guys here. Welcome to the show. My name is Sweatpant Jesus. That is Vsauce. That is Gretzky Betsky, and that is Jess. So we'll have Shaggy join us in just a minute. Excited to have you guys here. Hope you guys are having a spectacular start to your Sunday. And boys, it's week 2. Vibes are high. We are ready to rock and roll. Unfortunately, last Sunday, we didn't get to do Gridiron Gang, but it's because we were the Gridiron Gang in person. We were the Gridiron Gang.
I was going to ask if it went down, and I just slept through it, but
you did.
Question has been answered.
Sleepy Petsky just never gets the memo that we're hanging out. Like, you're just hanging out on the side. That's how it goes. Yeah, we're back. Excited to have you guys here. Excited to have all the goats in chat. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Right here on the Betting News Network, brought to you by our sponsors at BetOnline. You guys know the deal. Get involved with BetOnline with that $1,000 deposit bonus right in the top corner of the screen. Use the QR code. Get $1,000 dropped into your account if you deposit as much, and get $10 dropped into your account too when you use our promo code BNews. Iconics, I will kiss you on the mouth. Straight up on the mouth. We're going to talk about that game. We're going to talk about every game today. We've only got about an hour, so it's going to be a speed round today, boys and girls. We've been talking about football all week on all the shows. You guys have been tapping in with us. You've been giving us plays. We've been talking about all of our favorite stuff. We are going to go game by game and give you guys our thoughts on each individual game. Some of them we're going to kind of glance over because we might not have a lot of thoughts on them. But Nice slate this week, boys. I know V's got some touchdown scores. I've got some props. Sook's got some nasty stuff. Betsky's got stuff. We've all got stuff for you guys. And as always, chat, you guys do too. So drop your stuff in the chat. We will drop the link a little bit later. If you'd like to come up and pitch your favorite play on the show, feel free to do that, as we always do on Gridiron Gang. But boys, week 2's here. Vibes are high. And we're ready to rock and roll, baby. Yeah,
It's not stopping
absolutely.
today, Gerald. It's not stopping today.
Absolutely not, Gerald. I will say that my favorite is not necessarily the Titans, but it is more of a prop in that game, which you guys have heard me talk about since earlier this week. But gentlemen, week 2. All right, real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the show. We're going to talk about 3 stud or duds. We're going to talk about a couple fantasy things. Do we have him back?
Check.
10-4s?
I hope. Hello?
There he is.
Let's go.
There he
Hang
is.
on.
The Wi-Fi monster really. Oh no!
Oh, there we go.
Bye. See ya. It's. I think it may be because there's a game in Kansas City today, so maybe like
Is
Yeah,
this the
their
warning of
entire
things to come today
infrastructure
with
just
Kansas
shuts
City?
down.
just gets shit on by the amount of people that are hanging out and talking football.
They're like
I don't know.
water doesn't work. You just gotta
Yeah,
go fucking
absolutely.
road for a day and then Kansas City football plays.
All you can do is go to Arrowhead, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, Shags will be back with us maybe. Otherwise, you guys have heard Shaggy talk all week about everything that he's on. So you guys can also go check out all of our scribbles and everything for free at bettingnews.com. You guys know the deal. Get involved. Go read the scribbles. I got a chance to actually scribble this week. I haven't scribbled in a hot minute. You guys can actually see that I am a literate human being and can write stuff sometimes. So go.
Just for
go
chat, he said illiterate, not illiterate.
yeah. Well, it's up for
Well, go read it and
interpretation.
be the judge. Go read it and be
Yeah,
the
you can decide. You can decide. See how good
Don't
my
go read mine
vocabulary
then.
is.
Absolutely don't go read mine if that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Everybody read, everybody scribbles, and then we want to know in the chat who you guys like best. Who is the best read? Or if you guys read them at all. Well, we'll see.
I mean, you guys better
Was-
be reading them, chat.
Oh, they are. Gerald actually liked mine last night, so it makes me think he either just was like, hey, all right, thanks, SPJ, or he actually read them. So we'll see.
He read them. He's fully back in the lab. He's just as excited as all of us for NFL.
Can't remember the last time Gerald liked one of my tweets.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when your friends hang out with you, you know. This is pain. This is pain.
Oh.
But hey ho. All right. Since we're on a time crunch, boys, no time for funny business. Let's get straight to it. We're going to do 3 stutter duds in fantasy because as this is your weekly reminder to go and set your fantasy lineups right now. Because we have about an hour and 20 minutes until kickoff. Don't forget, like I did last week, and start T. Higgins, even though he didn't play last week. And I got fucked because of it. That's what happens when you're hanging out with your friends and watching football before the games start. So
Guess who started Nick Chubb when he had Jerome Ford on the bench?
nice. Same. Yeah. You know, you make those decisions. But we're back in the lab. This is, again, your fantasy. This is your reminder. Go set your fantasy lineups if you haven't already. But keep us open because we're going to talk about 3 different guys right now that are worth either starting or, well, I'll just leave it like this, that are studs or duds. I'm going to do a quarterback, I'm going to do a running back, and I'm going to do a wide receiver. I'm going to keep it nice tempo and pace, boys. Start this one off, and I'm going to throw it to Sook first. The number 13th ranked quarterback today is Baker Mayfield. Last week, we saw what he did against the Commanders, torched them for 24 for 30 with 289 yards with 4 touchdowns. Was one of the best fantasy quarterbacks last week. Great matchup again this week against the Lions. Should be a fun game. We'll talk about that a little bit when we get game by game. But Sook, are you backing your man today? I know it's kind of a softball to you, but is he going to be a stud this week again, or is he going to be a little bit of a dud?
Oh, it's absolute stud. He wakes up every day and he's a fucking stud. But last week we saw Matty Stafford had a very good game against this Lions defense. And I do not see why Baker Mayfield and his crew cannot replicate the same sort of success. If you look at it, the Rams really kind of went through it last week. Obviously, Cooper Kupp went off, but they struggled with the injury to Puka. The fucking Bucks, we were rolling. I was watching that game in the top right corner of Bet Rivers by myself, but this team has all the fucking mojo you want going into this season. I saw on NFL Films, they were saying, like, Baker's on the sidelines, and he's telling everybody, like, hey, if they're not doubling Mike, I'm throwing the ball at him. and I expect the same this week. Mike Evans, Iconics, is in chat saying 5 receptions. I agree with that play. I think the Bucks have a great game. But we'll get there. Bucky Irving, rushing yards. But Baker Mayfield, absolute stud this week. No doubt in my mind. This is going to be a shootout.
Boys, you guys got any other thoughts about Baker? Anybody want to go on the other side and think he's going to be a little bit come back down to earth this week?
I don't have anything on the other side, but I have been pitching to anyone and everyone that has him on their fantasy team to be starting him this week. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game. It's at Ford Field, and that's where Detroit does like their best work, especially offensively. We've seen Jared Goff. We've seen his home and away splits. And just to keep up, this Bucs team is going to have to put out offense. Both defenses are kind of lackluster, in my opinion, but both have high-powered offenses with big names on both sides. And like Suk said, Baker wakes up and shits greatness. So, yeah, I'm rolling with Baker this week.
Yeah, I actually did pick him up and started him. I'm starting him in one of my fantasy leagues this week because I like the matchup. I think it should be a pretty much up and down affair. I don't know about the spread. We'll get to it in a little bit, but I think it should be a really fun game. Obviously, a rematch also from last season's playoff game as well. Yep. And we saw what both of these offenses did last week. Two of the most proficient offenses in week 1. So should be a good one for sure. Betsky, you got any thoughts on this before we move on and talk about a running back?
No, not much more needs to be said. I mean, even if they get clobbered in real life football, he'll be throwing the ball then. So for fantasy's sake, this is pretty easy.
Yeah, I was surprised he was 13th ranked. I mean, it's ESPN, so take it for a grain of salt. Yeah. But I was surprised he was not top 10. But maybe after this week, if he has another good performance, I think people are going to start believing that he's going to be straight up legit this year, except for just Suk screaming it from the mountaintops. All right, number 2. This is a running back, which now everybody knows who he is. Before last week, no one could have even picked him out of a crowd. Jordan Mason is the number 11th ranked running back this week as the 49ers take on the Vikings. We saw what Jordan Mason did last week on Monday Night Football, torching the Jets for 28 carries for 147 yards and a touchdown. Betsky, I'll let you jump into this one first, brother. You think he's going to repeat that performance against this Vikings defense, or do you think he's going to come back down to earth, stud or dud?
I mean, he's taken on CMC's role. It's hard to not like him. I don't think he'll have the same impact. I see the tomatoes being thrown in the chat too, but it's impossible. I mean, how many years did San Francisco make stars out of no names? Like Mostert was on the team. Mm-hmm. Wasn't Jeff Wilson on that team? Like anybody, they all just go to Miami afterwards. Then it takes like 5 of them to do the same production that they had back in San Francisco. But I do like the receiving core a little bit more today. I think, this could turn into kind of a trap game, though, where San Francisco's up by so much that Mason just gets to run the ball. So
4.5 point spread, which I thought was interesting.
And team make me feel totally fine with starting Mason. And unfortunately, I have to in a couple leagues. So it is what it is.
Sure. I was surprised that his rushing yards line was so bettable, which obviously scares me in these situations. But as we've seen in the first couple weeks of the season, sometimes you just can't overthink the lower numbers because the books just don't want to overexpose themselves. Hello, sir. Welcome back. Let's see how long it lasts.
We're here.
Yeah. I don't see a way you can't not start him, as you said, Betsky. If you have him, one of the best rushing offenses in the NFL, even though the Vikings top 10 in rushing defense, I mean, he's probably going to stumble into the end zone and get maybe 60 or 70 yards, even if he has a pedestrian day.
Yeah, so, just how they scheme their offense, he has to get rushing attempts.
I think there was some stat that head coach Kyle Shanahan has had like something crazy, like I can't remember the number of running backs, but this number of like 3rd or 4th round running backs score a touchdown for his offense. So he does this. Mm-hmm. He does it with like small names, big names. It really doesn't matter. The fact that CMC was in this offense last season and healthy was fantastic, but I don't really think that the Niners are going to miss a beat or run the ball any less. I'm going to start him. And I will say the homie SK was smart enough to pick him up in every single league before the week 1 report about CMC even came out. And I've been offering him trades ever since. So I think he's an absolute must start. He's minus 170 to get a TD. You got to take him. You got to start him in your lineup this week.
I laddered him to 100 yards.
There you go.
In a little, I mean, it was plus like 270. Like he had 147 last week on 28 carries. And like, you know, I know the Vikings have a good rushing defense in comparison to the Jets, but
His line
he's
is
going to get the
70
football,
something, right?
I think it was 69 and a half. Nice. 71 and a half, something like that.
Has him to score TD at minus 167, right? I think that's
Oh my
indicative
God.
of what it's going to look like for him today.
Dude, I mean, you're filling in for Christian McCaffrey. It's, you know, Jordan Mason isn't Christian McCaffrey, but he's still in this Niners offense as the lead back. You throw me in there and I'm going to stumble for 50 yards and a touchdown. You know, like it's
exactly
the way the offense works.
I love that.
Hoagie, do you
16 and a half rushing attempts for Mason, minus 130. I really like that.
Absolutely. I don't see him not getting 20 plus. Hovey, if you're really doing this, brother, you got cojones as big as, you know, all of our heads combined. So I wouldn't want to touch that. Yeah, for reals. You gross man. You grody boy.
Why can't you find me nice props like Lazard? Why do we have to do these Jordan Mason unders? Huh? Lazard was so nice last week.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure there'll be some other ones to mention. All right, last one in the wide receiving department. Shags, perfect timing. I'll let you lead us off on this one too. Jamar Chase, the number 5 ranked running or wide receiver in fantasy this week. Last week, pedestrian for his standard, 6 receptions for 62 yards. Did not find the end zone going into Arrowhead this week. Also, news about him came out this week that he apparently is not super happy with the way the contract negotiations went with the Bengals. It's looking like that this is not going to get done throughout the season. So he's going to play on the current contract he has now, and then whatever happens is going to happen in the offseason. So maybe that plays into what happens this week. Shags, what do you think? Do you think that he's worth
I'm shaking in my boots, man.
You don't win. You don't. You don't have back-to-back Super Bowls with your team and ever shaking your boots respectfully to that man over there, even though I hate that I'd say that. But all right, man. Stud or dud, what do you think?
Come on. I think it's
Burrow.
He doesn't even say it.
It's just getting you, brother.
Let him go. Let him go.
Man. Weren't you guys supposed to play in this game? Super Bowl champions? Do you guys have one of these as Bengals fans? I don't think so. As far as Jamar Chase, though, this week, I think you probably got to start him in fantasy. With T. Higgins doubtful, who the hell is Burrow going to throw to? So I think he's going to see a multitude of targets. Is he going to go off? Maybe, maybe not. Don't really care. Not going to be enough to win the ball game. Yeah, hey, Connor, touche. Can't argue with that, man. Can't argue with that. But yeah, I think Jamar's going to go off just from the lack of T. Higgins being there. Bengals don't really have any other wide receivers to step up in that place, especially with Tyler Boyd gone. So yeah, I would start Jamar, but unfortunately for all you Bengals fans, he's not going to do enough to win you guys the ball game.
I agree with what you're saying, Shags. I think that last week, the whole thing about the contract, 2 years out, it's kind of insane to me. The fact that he's even unhappy with all of this, like, what were you expecting, right? You're looking for an unprecedented situation that's never happened before to kind of work out and play in your favor without any questions asked. But regardless, I think a week of practice, all that kind of stuff will have these guys back on the same page. 6 receptions. I can't remember how many targets he had, but I feel like it was close to 8 or 9. I think that him and Burrow were missing a little bit of timing, just like we saw with Purdy and Ayuk in week 1. I think he has a bigger game. And against the Chiefs, this is one of those statement games, like Shag said, 0-1. You just lost to New England. Either step up or shut the fuck up. So I'm starting Jamar Chase.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. Hard to not want to take Jamar, especially as Gerald said in the chat, which is a good point. You know, he's playing for a contract now. So, you know, he's playing for either to get an extension with the Bengals and get the money that he deserves and wants, or to take his talents elsewhere. So,
I mean, I'm playing Vsauce in fantasy, who's talking and muted at the same time. So I'll just go ahead and talk. So I think he might have been to be an absolute stud this week.
He might have been talking to somebody else. Betsky, anything else on this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much else to say.
I'll play devil's advocate, because the whole point of this game, obviously, you know, most of these guys are starting. Like, you're not going to think about it and just, Baker, I don't know how you feel about that. But, I mean, Jordan Mason, most people, if you have him on your team at this point, you're probably starting him. Jamar Chase, you are probably starting him, Shags, like you mentioned. But I think he maybe has a dud this week, man. I don't know. I think it could be a little bit of a situation where he is not the number 5 ranked wide receiver at the end of the day, from a perspective of the Chiefs don't have to worry about anybody else in this offense. They can focus all of their attention on stopping Jamar Chase. And as we know, not to glaze the fucking Kansas City Chiefs because they don't need any more of it, but like when they have enough time to prepare, especially for this team specifically, when you have an opportunity to stop one specific part of an offense, usually you can do that in the NFL. So I have a feeling that they're going to rotate coverages. They're maybe going to double team him or like bracket him, where they like pick him up at the line of scrimmage and then have a safety chilling over the top or something like that to make sure they don't get beat deep. Maybe gets a bunch of catches or something, but I don't see a massive week from Jamar.
Well, I mean, you said it. That's kind of the downside to not having T. Higgins on the field, is there's just all the focus on him. And I guess I didn't realize he only had 6 targets last week.
Me neither.
Not all 6 balls thrown his way, but that probably has the same thing to do with it. If all the focus is on him, he was only able to get open that minimal times. But he caught every pass thrown his way. So, I won't glaze the Chiefs either. I'll let the play on the field do the talking. But I think you got to start Jamar at least.
Yeah, I mean, again, most of these guys we bring up for stud or dud, you're starting. There's not like you're going to sit them on the bench and look like a smarty and then have them go off on your bench. But it's worth the conversation. Okay, now let's dive in, boys. Let's go game by game. And how we're going to do it, Chad, is we're going to just go game by game. If any of us have a play in that game or something to say about it, we'll talk about it. Drop your comments and drop what you guys have in each game as they come up, prop or side or total, whatever it may be. If we don't have anything, not too much to say, we're going to blast on through it because we're going to go every single game. We got about 40 minutes until we need to get out of here, and then you guys can enjoy the rest of the thing. We also have Chef T, who's going to be hanging out with us for this particular portion of the show as well. So let's bring in Mr. Fields Rushing Yards. Hello, Chef. How we doing?
Chef.
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here, brother. Thanks for being here. Ron, appreciate you in the chat. Let's get it.
Is it not Caleb
Absolutely.
rushing yards now?
No, it's always Fields.
It'll
It'll never be Caleb rushing yards.
My loyalty shifts to Justin wherever he is.
Fair enough. Hey, I respect.
I think he plays good this week, Chef.
I did too. I mean, Broncos have a shitty defense, so he should be able to take off. But I'm actually on Harris rushing yards, and I like him for a touchdown. But I think the Steelers actually probably have a pretty good week against the Broncos. I know the Broncos showed up last week, but I think the Steelers get it done, in my opinion.
That was random. Why did you
said that? That's not my burner account.
All right, let's get into it. Let's start off with this Raiders-Ravens game. Raiders are 9-point underdogs in Baltimore today. 9-point spread, as you guys can see on the screen via BetOnline. The over-under is 41.5 in this game. Gents, soft lobbing it up. Anybody got any thoughts on this one?
Ravens roll.
Yeah.
Just
Now,
like the
does
Ravens,
anybody
really?
believe in?
Okay.
Does anybody believe in likely being able to do a repeat?
No, I'm going to Zay Flowers. I went
hope
to him last week. I'm going back this week.
Honestly.
I'm a little concerned that if he does it again this week, then I think you got to start him regardless in fantasy perspectives, and maybe you can take his props and things like that moving forward. But Mark Andrews is still on this team, and Mark Andrews is still really fucking good. So I doubt they're going to just run away from him. I mean, obviously Derrick Henry's probably going to score a touchdown. When we talked with Dave Mason, Shags, the one thing that stood out to me about that entire conversation was one of the spreads he said twice when we talked about the NFL was the Raiders.
Yeah,
to cover.
It's true.
Who said that?
He's Dave Mason. So we spoke to the brand manager and the person who's responsible to seeing all the public money and everything like that, the bookmaker for BetOnline on Thursday, and he was giving us all the different information on public bets versus the amount of tickets and things like that. And the ones, like I said, the one spread that he said twice when we were talking about football was the Raiders +9 or +8.5.
Well, I think it's just a really big spread, and people people will be prone to, okay, we get the Ravens in their home opener coming off a loss against the Chiefs. The Raiders didn't look like anything against the Chargers. Now they got to go into Baltimore and face this Baltimore Ravens team in their home opener in a bounce back spot. So I think just from a public Joe perspective, they'd be quick to hop on Baltimore. But I mean, not 9 points is still a lot in the National Football.
Facts. Well, and we saw last week the Ravens offense didn't look spectacular. Now, completely different, totally different situation. But we'll see. All right. Anything else on this one?
No, I think Ravens roll. I don't care. I mean, obviously he's a bookmaker and been watching this, but I don't see any bright spot on the Raiders that the Ravens can't defend. Obviously, maybe a lower scoring game because the Ravens will probably just run it down the Raiders' throat. I love Lamar rushing and Lamar for a touchdown. But I mean, the Chiefs defense, Shaggy, I mean, it's we talked about that on week 1. It's pretty good. I mean, I think that's one of the number one reasons why they couldn't get things going. Huge bounce back spot. Ravens roll completely, in my opinion. But
Did you take the 9?
No.
I think this game is just a complete stay away.
Yes, 100%.
Or Ravens team. What's the Ravens team total?
Let me look. I'll bring it up here.
Probably like what?
The Ravens team total is 25.5.
That's a lot. Holy
The Raiders
That's a lot of
did not
points.
generate shit last week.
The problem with that to me also is, and Major Matt in our spaces earlier this week made a really good point. He actually took the Ravens under on their team total because of the travel, and also because, as Crazy Pellet in the chat said, their offensive line is not very good. They got banged up last week too, where they were already not very good. And the only benefit that this Raiders team has is their defense, especially their front seven with Max Crosby, et cetera. So the only thing that the Ravens don't have great depth at is offensive line, and the only thing that the Raiders do really well is rush the passer. So those things could maybe come to play here. But yeah,
Total
overall, yep, fuck this game. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some other stuff. Chargers, Panthers. Chargers are 4.5-point favorites against the Panthers here in Carolina. The over-under for this game is 38.5. Before you guys jump in, I just got to say, I really like the Chargers in this spot. I'm not going to bet the 4.5, I don't think, but I think that the Chargers win this game maybe by a touchdown or more. I think we maybe see that the Panthers are actually trash today. We kind of got a glimpse of it last week. The Chargers have possibly the best offensive line in football. I think they're going to run it down the Panthers' throats. I really like the 4.5. Not going to bet it, I don't think, because I've already got units out there that I don't want to bet anymore. But I think this is one of my favorite spreads today from a favorite perspective that I would feel comfortable laying the points. Anybody else got any thoughts on this one?
Fuck the Panthers.
Yeah, I think the only thing that worries me is how obvious it feels. But it's
Facts,
hard not to want to go with it. I mean, I think maybe people are over adjusting too much on the Harbaugh offense for the Chargers, but I don't know. It's a brand new team. They're probably going to get better throughout the season, and this is a good coach. This is maybe a team that doesn't have to run and gun as much, but actually wins games, which is something the Chargers struggle to do.
This is also one of those situations where, remember guys, when we were talking about this before we were heading to the sports book on Saturday, and we were kind of discussing different lines and things like that. And actually throughout the week, everybody was pretty high on maybe the Panthers covering against the Saints. And what did we see? They just got absolutely dog walked.
I had the Saints.
And it was,
boys. I had the Saints.
I had the Saints. It was too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this week anything changes. The Panthers had 1 sack last week. They didn't really get anywhere with their defense. And like SPJ, you said, that O-line for Los Angeles is good. So I think they get fucking dog walked again this week.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked J.K. Dobbins' rushing yards. I know it got mentioned. Both of him and Edwards, both are probably good looks this week, as you can see from what Crazy Pellet said in the chat. Both their touchdowns are plus money, which is kind of sketchy too. Some weird lines in this game, which is kind of the point of Betsky mentioning about why it feels easy. A lot of this stuff feels so free. J.K. Dobbins had over 130 rushing yards last week, but he only had 10 carries. He had 10 carries last week and 130 yards. So maybe he repeats the same performance this week, but I don't know.
That's
Little
what I
bit
was
sus.
gonna say.
If you like the
SPJ.
Panthers, take Chuba.
I was gonna say that what you just said. I love this Gus Edwards line. He had 11 carries. He got more carries than J.K. Dobbins last week. He didn't outsnap J.K., but that's because Dobbins was using in the pass game way more than Gus Edwards is, right? And because of that reason, you're going to see him, I think, used even more today in a game script that should allow the Chargers to be up most of the game. Now, don't get me wrong. I love J.K. Dobbins, but I don't think that the 13.5 yards per carry is something that he can emulate again. Right now, Gus Edwards, he saw 11 carries for 26 yards, 2.6 yards per carry. And now he's getting a Panthers team that just gave up 132 yards on the ground, 200 plus yards through the air. This defense is horrendous. And it's a perfect place for a guy like Harbaugh to come in and turn up against a bad team, set an example, and really kind of instill confidence in his offense. Right. And I think that's going to be done on the ground heavily, whether that's through 25 to 30 runs between both Dobbins and Edwards. But the over 43.5 line for Gus Edwards is something that I just tapped the button on as we were looking at this game.
I think both running backs is definitely worth betting today. I mean, Chef and I before I went to sleep last night, I whispered sweet nothings into Chef's ear and said, "Chef, cook a lotto with me." And he did.
And this was literally at like 2 a.m. We were both still awake.
I know. I said it was before I went to sleep. Whispered sweet nothings. And J.K. Dobbins rushing yards was one of the things that we were discussing. So it's I think it's one of those situations where maybe the line's not quite where it should be, and if he has a big day again, it gets changed. But guys, anything else on this one, or should we move on?
You actually segued it up perfectly for me. I would not be rushing to back the Chargers on the spread at all, especially considering it's moved from 6.5 down to 4.5. That just, I don't know, worried me a bit. However, I did back their money line in a parlay, and I actually parlayed it with this favorite here. I've got the Chargers and the Cowboys in a money line parlay. Got it for -106. You might be able to get it now for plus money with the way the Chargers have moved, but I do think we see that the Panthers are the absolute 32nd team in the NFL, without a doubt. I thought the Patriots would maybe be down there with them, but they showed some signs of life, so maybe it's just the Panthers down there. But I think that comes out to play today as well.
I love that.
It's kind of fading the Saints having the game of their life. Colby and I talked about it a little bit on Friday of. The Saints put up nearly 50 points against the Panthers, and they certainly didn't have to. They gave the Cowboys every bit of film to watch this week in preparation for this game. And with the Cowboys, their defense, I know they played the Browns, but the defense looked great. I don't think the Saints offense is really all of that. But they certainly don't have any tricks up their sleeves anymore. So going into Jerry's world, I just think the Cowboys roll too. So Cowboys and Chargers moneyline parlay for me -106.
Oh, Kadar. Jerry's world. Evan Ingram just got hurt.
Not great.
Apparently. And I am starting him. So I'm going to have to do that before we get started. I hope I have a tight end on my bench. Hurt as in not playing hurt? Or hurt as in, rub some dirt on it and get back in there, because I need to know.
No, he's out. I'm seeing that he was just labeled as out, SPJ.
No.
Oh my God.
In warm-ups.
No Evan Ingram sprained hamstring in warm-ups.
Evan Ingram inactive.
Oh, there goes Evan Ingram's season. Hamstrings are no bueno. I think that guy also has had a history of hamstring injuries too. So
Kenneth Walker, if you needed him, or AJ Brown.
Oh. Wow, it's all happening.
Ryan Thomas Jr. to the moon.
Yeah, facts. Okay, so anything on this Cowboys-Saints game? I know Colby likes the Cowboys to cover. I kind of do too. Probably not going to take the spread. It is the Cowboys at home, Shags, like you mentioned. You guys got any thoughts on this game? Any sides or totals or spread or props in this one?
I like the Cowboys to win this one. I'm probably going to tap their money line in 1 or 2 parlays, but I don't really want to take the 6.5. But I do think they get the job done. They looked really good last week on the road. This is their first home game, and we know how Dak plays in Jerry's world.
Absolutely.
Word. Anything else on this one, boys? You guys want to keep moving?
Let's keep moving.
Oh, this is interesting. Lattimore out for the Saints.
Oh, wow.
Big CD day.
One of the guys you said that was out made me think of something about a spread, but we'll get there probably when we get to the game. All right, this is just for Sook. To the Bucks taking on the Lions. Shags wrote about this game at bettingnews.com, which you guys can go and peep the scribbles for this one. Go check out all the scribbles. We pretty much covered every single game this week at Betting News, so go check it out. Right before the game start, 7.5-point favorites are the Lions at home against the Bucks, plus 7.5. Over-unders 51.5. Sook, I know you're already on the Buckies, your team. Tell us why you like them to cover the spread.
They're good at football. They're
Nice.
great at football. But the actual prop that I really like in
W
this,
analysis.
the actual prop I really like in this game, and it's actually gone down, is Bucky Irving rushing yards, 19.5 minus 110. I think the kid gets there. They're kind of falling out of love with Rashad White. I talked about this last week. If Rashad White does not improve on his yards per carry, Todd Bowles has said he will go elsewhere, and that elsewhere is Bucky Irving. We saw him hit this line in 3 straight preseason games. We saw him hit it last week, 19.5 rushing yards. That's my favorite player prop in this game. But I also do think the Bucks cover. I do not know, like, that's why I'm wearing, like, I might as well be wearing red colored sunglasses like V right now, because I do not know why the Bucks are such big underdogs at 7.5. I think they play very well again this week, and I think they are going to cover. Or not covered. You know what I mean. I'm excited.
Cover.
Yeah.
The
He
word is
wants
cover.
them outright.
Yeah.
I'll take them out. I'll take them outright. Fuck that. I think the Bucks roll. I think we're going to see a fantastic overall. I mean, Baker's just going to be chucking it. Goff's going to be chucking it. Yeah,
I'm so
really
excited that this game starts right away. It's one of the early
Yeah.
I got to do an SGP for that game, but yeah,
I've got
I will take Bucks outright with you.
Let's go.
Crazy donation.
Whoa!
I'll give you 3 to 1 to book with me. Plus
Let's go,
280.
Shags.
Shaggy Books.
Shaggy Books.
I'll take free money.
I kind of like the over a little bit. I think that's my favorite play in this game if I had to pick something. I was staring at this over since beginning of the week, pretty much. I think that both of these teams are going to score. I think that both of these teams are going to go up and down the field on offense. We talked about it a little bit with Baker. I actually do have a prop in this game. I took Jameson Williams over 47.5 receiving yards. We saw what he did last week. He had 5 catches for over 120 yards. I think this line is too low. Jared Goff obviously is prioritizing getting him the football. He's their big play threat. Betsky was screaming it from the mountaintops before the season started that he was going to have a breakout season. It's looking like that could be on the cards. 47.5 for Jameson Williams. Feels if he has another 100-yard game or another couple big catches and he gets over this line pretty easily, it's not going to be 47.5 next week. So last thing about it too is the Bucks secondary. Both of these secondaries are not spectacular, but the Bucks secondary particularly is not very good.
And they're super fucking beat up.
Yeah, very beat up.
Yeah. So I think Amon-Ra can bounce back as well. I know that Hovey had some love for him in the chat. We talked about it on the timeline too. But I like his yards for Jameson Williams. I think 47.5 is too low. So
I do also have a play in this game. I got Laporta to score a touchdown. I wrote about this play in my little touchdown piece, but I'm taking his touchdown. He saw 5 targets last week for 4 catches. I think he had 40 yards. Really underwhelming game for Laporta, but last season he had 10 touchdowns. 9 of those touchdowns came at Ford Field. He was an absolute menace at Ford Field. I think he scored in about 8 of their 11 games last year, 8 of their 10 home games last year, including the playoffs. He hadn't scored in the last playoff game. He didn't score in their season opener. And we all know, we all swept that out with Trizzy last week. He fucking owes us 1, if not 2 touchdowns. I'm taking his touchdown this week, plus 110. I think he gets us into the end zone. Like we said, this is going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a shootout. And this is going to be one of those ones where you need these big-name guys, these big guys to get the job done. Laporta had an insane rookie season, and we might see a little bit of aggression from the 10 touchdowns he scored last year. But I think he finally breaks one into the end zone today and gets one in for 6.
Mm-hmm.
Shags, I know you have a play as well. You want to throw that out there before we move on to the next game?
Yeah, no, I got a couple of props in this one. I like what you said about the over. I think that would be my favorite play on the side or total would be the over in this one. I think both teams are able to move the ball. And I love what I'm seeing in chat because chat's seeing this the same way as me. We are taking Mr. Lamar Mayfield over his rushing yards. Baker over 9.5 rushing yards, minus 116 is what I got for it. It might have moved up to 10.5, but double digits, this guy can use his leg. He had 21 last week against the Commanders, cleared this in 3 straight going back to last season, including in the playoff game against Detroit where he got knocked out of the playoffs. Going back there after signing a huge contract, more weapons as far as wideouts go for him with Jalen McMillan stepping up. Lions secondary kind of got picked apart by Mr. Matt Stafford last week, so I think they're going to have to pay extra attention to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin running those routes, and Baker Mayfield just plays football, man. He'll make a play with his legs if he has to. So double digit yards for that guy, I think is a little too low. And then it is Mr. Amon-Ra Day, as Hovey suggested. Over 79.5 receiving yards for that guy. Only 3 catches for 13 yards last week. 6 targets, though, still. We saw the emergence of Jamison Williams. I think that really helps Amon-Ra bounce back this week. That deep ball is going to be there for Williams. Amon-Ra is going to be wide open over the middle for those digs to get the yards after catch. So, plus the guy has seen – 29 targets in 2 games against the Buccaneers in his career. 8 catches on 14 targets for 77 yards in the playoff game, 12 catches for 124 yards on 15 targets in the regular season. So I think Jared Goff's going to get his wide receiver 1 going this week.
Yep.
Bang. Yeah. Everybody in chat, just so you know, Evan Ingram is out. Evan Ingram is out. He's been out.
I also like to point out we just covered, I think, every single player's prop over in that game, so you guys know what's going to happen next.
0-0 at halftime.
All Gibbs, just Gibbs and White going off.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
I have
with
White
touch
on
of
my fantasy
Montgomery.
team, so I'm happy with that.
Just nobody's throwing the ball. It's just a boots on the ground.
That out there, Betsky.
All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go to the next game. The Colts taking on the Bears. The Colts taking on the Packers, excuse me. The Packers +2 at home in Lambeau against the Colts, 2-point favorites, purely because Jordan Love is not starting this game. It's Malik Willis for the Packers. The over-under is set at 41. Let me get us back and looking at the screen here. I'm going to step away for just a second. If you guys want to jump in, I know V wrote about this game. I'll let you lead us off, man, and tell us what you like in this one.
Tell us Malik Willis is doing it.
Oh my God, Malik Willis getting his first start since his rookie season in 2022. It's gonna be a tough game to watch as a Packers fan, but I agree with Hovey. No, I'm just kidding. I have all the utmost faith in this Packers team, but am I taking the money line? Absolutely not. I am, however, taking the over 40.5 in this game, as weird as that sounds. We know that this Packers team is going to be hindered offensively, but the thing is, Matt LaFleur is fantastic offensively. He's a great mind. He has another good running back in Josh Jacobs, and just like he had in Aaron Jones last year. We know what Josh Jacobs can bring. In week 1, he had 16 carries for 88 yards, averaged 5.3 yards per carry, and he looked fantastic. He didn't get one into the end zone, but the Green Bay offense was moving. I think that today with Malik Willis, we're going to see a lot of RPO kind of action. We're going to see some QB runs, and I do think that Josh Jacobs is going to see about 18 to 21 carries. I'm also on his over 64.5 rushing yards and him to get into the end zone. Might be too much on this Packers side here, but I do think that we see a higher scoring game. This Colts team last week put up 27 points and came up a 2-point conversion short of tying up the game against the Texans. Anthony Richardson made big play after big play. I think he had 2 touchdowns of over 40 yards. He had another touchdown of 25-plus yards, and he scampered one in on his own 2 feet. The offense looks fantastic. They have Jonathan Taylor, who didn't really even need to do anything last week, but I think that he gets a little more involved in today's game too. And I think we see about 25 to 26 points from this Colts team, and then I think the Packers can get us the 17 to 18 points that we'll need to hit this over. So give me the over. Give me Josh Jacobs over 64.5, and give me Josh Jacobs to get one in the end zone today, -110. All 3 of those props. I wrote about all of them on bettingnews.com. I'll post the links in a minute here. But, yeah, that's how we're riding the Packers today, boys.
Nice.
This is a total stay away game for me. I want absolutely no part of it.
I don't blame you guys.
My gut would just go with the Colts, because why the hell would I want to back Malik Willis? But I don't know. There is something that makes me uneasy about doing that. And I don't know. I think the line's a little short from where I would put it with Malik Willis starting too, which maybe freaks me out a little. But yeah, I want no part of this game. So
+2,
go
man.
Packers.
Go Packers. +2 is a tough line. You're seeing the over has jumped from 40.5 to 41.5 now. I still like it there, but I think we can see some scoring from the Packers today, boys. Anybody else have any props they like?
Would you guys touch Anthony Richardson's rushing yards?
What's the number at?
39.5, I think.
I think anybody's rushing yards in this game is good. Both of these rushing defenses are trash. Packers are bottom 4. Colts are bottom. I mean, we saw what I'm on I'm on Josh Jacobs as well. And purely because the Colts rushing defense, I think this season is going to be a consistent fade. I just don't think they're going to be able to stop the run a lot. So I like anybody to run the ball today, which we know what that means. But I'm with you though, Shags. No, I watched Malik Willis play for the fucking Titans for so many games. I don't know why this line is where it's at. It's very funky. I have a feeling
like 3.5, maybe even.
I think it was that, and then it got.
Is that where it started?
I think it was 3. But
this game is stinky.
Besky, what were you saying?
What I was going to say is that this is going to be the game that's just all done in the air, and then the Giants Tampa game's just going to be all on the ground.
yeah.
Fun times.
Football.
Malik Willis is going to throw the ball 36 times today, boys.
Daniel will look really smart.
That guy Alex Caruso, whatever the fuck his name is, the guy that's like this play never misses. He's on Malik Willis under passing yards. So there you go.
Yep.
Or I don't know.
Really low.
That's interesting.
Should we move on?
I'm on. This to be all rush though. Obviously, it's Jonathan Taylor. Like it's fucking Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
And Josh Jacobs.
You say he just had a 150-yard game. Nobody blinks an eye. And against a Packers defense that is Swiss cheesy. Get it? The cheese, stupid idiot hit cheese.
There you go.
And, obviously, I'm on both these rushing yard guys. Josh Jacobs. Didn't we put Josh Jacobs in our lotto?
We did.
Yeah. Okay.
We laddered him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Chef, you just made my list for that cheesy comment.
I have a cheese.
But then he rounded it out by saying that he's on Jacobs too. So
no,
it's like a slap in the face, and then he kissed you. A little bit of both,
exactly.
That's how he actually met the first time. A slap in the face, and then he kissed me.
Yeah. I'm half Wisconsin.
All right, let's keep it going. Go Browns, Jags. Jaguars -3 right now against the Browns at home. The over-under 41.5 in this game, as we have talked about in the chat multiple times as it came out. Evan Ingram out in this one. Deshaun Watson still playing football. Maybe for not much longer. Wow. We'll find out. Still playing football. It was also his birthday yesterday, and the Browns had the gall to post a happy birthday Deshaun post, which I thought was funny.
Dude, it was hostage font. Did you see that? They literally picked like freaking ransom note font for the dude who's holding them ransom for what is it, 180 million?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Did you guys see this fucking asshole say that it wasn't just him and the whole team needs to be better? Like, you're the quarterback. It starts with you, my guy. Even if you believe that, do not say that to reporters.
He's a fucking. I can't believe I cannot believe it. I can't believe it because it's the NFL, but I can't believe it.
Besides Deshaun Watson being a piece of trash, which we can all agree on, thoughts on this game?
I have nothing in this game.
Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown with the Ingram news. It's like plus 250. I just locked it in 2 different books, including BetOnline.
He was good last week, right, Betsky?
Yep. Yeah,
he was. He scored a touchdown last week.
Yep, plus 250, man. Like,
sorry.
I mean,
Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, okay.
I really wanted to take the Jags in this spot. I think I wanted the 2.5 or maybe a little shorter money line though, but I do think the Jags roll. I didn't see I didn't see anything positive for the Browns last week, offensively or defensively. And the Jags were able to at least slow down the Dolphins for the first half. first 3 quarters or so. So yeah, I think the Jags bounce back at home.
Yeah.
All right.
Completely agree.
I liked, this was one of my favorites, like sides, like spreads of a favorite team that I was actually thinking about playing, but then I realized that it's the Jags and I ain't touching that shit. But I do agree with you, Shags. I think they win this game. They should.
Yeah.
I picked up their defense in fantasy and I'm starting them, which is also a little bit scary. But
I think that's solid for this week.
I do like Jerome Ford to get in the end zone to have plus 129 here on BetOnline. I think that's a solid value for his line, and a guy who runs the ball really, really well in a Cleveland team that is a very run-heavy offense, especially with the struggles of Deshaun Watson. I think that this Jaguars team, they gave up 86 rush yards to running backs last week, which is like 4th or 5th worst. Now they're getting Jerome Ford, a much better running back. We saw who did the Jags play in week 1? Miami. Miami had to kind of pass the ball for a majority of that game just because of playing from behind. I think today with Jerome Ford, they'll have to lean on the run a little bit more, and I like him to get one in the end zone against the Jags today for plus 129.
Was it say that's plus money? Wow, I'm very surprised it's not closer to even money.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now via BetOnline.
Just scoring for the Browns. Njoku's he's out, right?
yeah,
He's out. He's out.
Yeah, out. Mm-hmm.
If anyone's scoring for the Browns, it's going to be Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
All right, Hovey, this is just for you. If you want to pop in real quick, say what's up, give us your favorite play, and then we'll keep it rolling. We're gonna move to the next game though while you're joining us, just because I know Shags and V have to leave in 10 minutes. So we'll try to get through this early slate before we have to say goodbye to these gents. All right.
Bet the under in that Cleveland Jacksonville game too, but I have enough units out. I'm gonna leave it, but it's going under 41.5. I'll just say that.
I don't hate that either. All right, we got Hovey. Let's swing back to Hovey, who's in the sunny outdoors. Hello, Hovey. How's it going?
What up, boys? How are we?
What's
Good,
up?
brother. How are you?
Good. And got a fucking whole panel today. I love that.
Yes, sir.
I know, man. Full house. Welcome to the party. What you got for us? I know what you're on, but go ahead and pitch it to us. Tell us why you like it.
Actually, I'm not going to give you a Monra because Shaggy already went into it, so no reason to repeat. We're going to go to our nice little battle, SBJ, my team versus your team.
Oh, yeah.
Quincy Williams over 7.5 tackles and assists.
I like that.
In 2 possession games, he goes over this number every single time. Last game against the Niners wasn't a 2 possession game. He fell just short of this number. Last year, he never went under this number, 7.5 in back-to-back games. Actually did it only once. But other than that, he's gone over this game. Obviously, he's the vocal point of the Jets defense right alongside with CJ Mosley. Titans, if they want to win this game, they're going to run the shit out of the ball, and they're going to run the ball right up the middle. And that's where Quincy Williams is just going to be sitting there and waiting to tackle Pollard and Spears. So give me Quincy Williams over 7.5 tackles and assists.
Nice.
I like that play. Also, W. Hovey from vacation. Let's go.
I wish I was fucking on vacation. I'm at my boy's crib.
Oh, you look like you're in Florida, brother. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Oh,
It's the Long Island. It's the Long Island. That's how Long Island's built out. It's not like the city where there's just fucking buildings on buildings on buildings.
You're basically at NZ's house. Got it.
Practically, yes.
Well, since you mentioned that game, one of my plays today, which you guys have I've been talking about it all week. I have Tony Pollard over 50.5 rushing yards. I've talked about it a bunch. You kind of touched on it too. I think the Titans are going to be running the football early and often in this game, like we saw in week 1 against the Bears. This line's too low. 50.5. I think you could cash this in the first half. I think he could have another big day. I do like him to score a touchdown as well. I got plus 170 earlier this week. So I like that play too. I lean with the Titans plus 4. I know you guys can laugh at me about it, but I really I think we saw the flukiness of what happened last week. I think this team does bounce back and cover. Maybe they lose, but I think they cover. I don't think the Jets, respectfully, Hovey, I don't think the Jets are very good, especially on the defensive line. And I think that could come to play today and maybe throughout the entire season. So, yeah, those are my plays. I know, Gerald. I know. But it's like I've been singing it from the mountaintops like I did last week. I've been keeping it to myself. I texted Shaggy to take it with me yesterday, and he balked at me. But
No.
No, he didn't. As he should not. And I'm not telling anybody else to take it because I do like the +4.
Right hand up. I rode with you last week on the Titans money line, and I completely bailed by halftime. I was all in on the Bears when that atmosphere got me rolling. That's for sure.
Shaggy was this close to yelling Bears Super Bowl, Bears Super Bowl.
I might have
sure.
flipped my mouth a couple times.
Sure.
But yeah, not gonna back the Titans.
Fair enough. Have you got anything else for us, brother, before you dip out and enjoy Sunday?
I was gonna give. Well, it's not a Gridiron Sunday without me giving y'all a touchdown score. All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Today it is going. I was gonna give a Mon-Ra, but that's too basic. Daniel Jones is getting into the end zone today.
Oh,
Holy.
That's grody, brother.
Yeah.
Danny Dimes, rumbling and tumbling,
bounce
1
back.
for 6.
Yep. Danny Dimes will find his way into the end zone.
That was
All
such
right,
an
man.
embarrassing game in front of all the Hall of Famers of that team that you gotta think that they're going to bounce back against the division rival at least a little bit. And if not, he's cooked. So you're pretty much gained a bet on him having a career still.
Yeah, basically.
Then it could be DeVito time otherwise.
I don't think I can handle more DeVito time, bro. I can't. I really can't.
I just want that agent to be on the spotlight again.
Oh yeah, dude. That guy. There's going to be a movie made about that at some point. And fucking, like some weird Italian actor is going to play him, and it's going to be awesome.
Speaking about them and Long Island, there's a person that lives down the street from me that has a New York Islanders vanity license plate that says Gabagool.
God. That's spectacular. All right, Hove. Well, we appreciate you hanging out, man. Appreciate you popping up and giving us your plays. Hope you have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games today, and hope you cash some tickets, buddy. Appreciate you.
Hi, boys. See y'all.
Enjoy the island. Take it easy.
All right, I'm gonna give.
Did you guys not think he was in fucking Florida? That did not look like Long Island to me, man.
No, it did not.
I did.
No.
I did think he was in Florida.
Sheesh. Okay, let's go. All right, Chef. Appreciate you hanging out with us for most of the slate. Have a good one.
Later, Chef.
Adios. See you
Bucks
later,
money
man.
line, right?
Bucks money line. Actually, you know what I did?
What did you do?
Hold on.
Talk to me.
Book on the Bucks money line.
Boys, I do gotta get out of here. All right, I got a flight to
Bye,
catch.
V.
I will see you guys on the other side. Let's cash some tickets.
Later,
Love y'all.
Let's go.
Mr. International. Wow.
I know.
Safe flight, man.
He's flying to your house. Didn't you know?
What?
Yeah. He's flying to your time zone.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Chef, we're waiting on pings and needles on what you're doing, or did you forget?
Yeah. So I would say I don't have it in my slip, but I do like this. All right, this is +5732.
Okay.
Okay. 4
Mhm.
teams, all dogs. +5732.
Mhm.
Bucks money line. Packers money line. By the bad news. Cards money line against the Rams.
Okay.
Where's Shags? Is he's sorry, Shags.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't.
You got it by the bad. You got it.
No.
You got it.
No.
What?
I'm sorry.
He's going Bengals money
Go
line.
ahead and take the point.
No.
That's fine. They're not winning this game, Chef. They're not winning this game.
Bengals roll. You gotta.
Stop.
Who dey?
Stop.
I know.
Yeah. Chef,
Yeah.
man.
I know.
But before
Chef,
Shags leaves,
Imagine you're a stud receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals, and you look over in the lower bowl. And
I
you
know.
see this. You see this guy, this
I know.
ugly mug right
I know.
there. Third down, just. I
know.
You're not doing anything, man. You're not doing anything. The Bengals are not winning this game. The Chiefs roll. Isaiah Pacheco, 16 plus carries. That's the play. Boots on the ground. I love the Cardinals, though, that you mentioned that. I am on the Cardinals money line. But man, no, it's not.
I'm really sorry. It's gonna be heartbreaking, and I'm I'm really sorry for how you feel at 7 p.m.
3 of 4 is usually good, except in a
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
That's how it goes.
You have to take the Bengals here. You have to.
No, on the points. On
If
the
anything,
points.
take the points.
On the
Take
points.
the points.
I
Of
would
course
not.
not.
I would never touch the 6.5 with the Chiefs in this game. Absolutely not.
All
Patrick
right.
Mahomes wins this game. The Chiefs win by a field goal.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it is a 6.5 point spread towards the
I'm not going to
Bengals.
be totally delusional and tell you we're totally covering this game because we're probably not. I think you take the Bengals.
And you know how big of a fan I am. I'm a big fan of the Chiefs. I appreciate what they do. I like what they do. It's not even. It's nothing to do with the teams. It's nothing to do with the tems. It's the numbers. It should be 9.5. It
They're
should
fun to watch.
100%.
I don't think Steve Swizzle's going to be there, so I don't think we're going to get the broadcast going to her all the time.
I'm just saying on stream a 57. I have to say a 5,700 lotto. I have to say it because if I book it and it hits and I say, look at what and then I'm the idiot.
Now you have the visual evidence to back it up at least.
Yeah, we got the recording of it.
There you go. All right, Chef. Well, on that note,
it's going to be 6.5. Of course, you take the 6.5. There's that it shouldn't be.
All right. Well, Godspeed to you, brother.
Godspeed, Jeffrey.
That's it.
Yeah. Have a great Sunday. Appreciate you spending some time with us as always.
At Arrowhead Stadium plus in it. Shouldn't be it. All right.
He's gonna keep going. Love you.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Oh, I can't wait.
He couldn't put the shovel down.
I just can't.
He had to
wait
just
keep on digging.
Couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we kind of touched on it for a second before Shags does have to leave. I know Colby actually is on the Bengals in this game, plus 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
I know that is the line that he does have. And Shags, as you did mention, even though you're going to be at this game and you are a Chiefs fan, the side's probably to take the Bengals in the points.
Yes, I would absolutely agree. If you're betting on the spread in this one, it's probably Cincinnati.
Okay.
It's just the nature of the beast. It's the Bengals Chiefs rivalry. They sure won a lot. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes just wins games at home in September. They're gonna find a way to get it done.
All right.
This is one of those games in the afternoon window. There's only a couple of games, flip over from red zone after you've watched your team either win or lose in the early slot, and you just sit back and you just watch this game. Listen to Tony Romo and Al Michaels, or not Al Michaels, Jim Nance. Just listen to them talk about this game and glaze over Mahomes and just enjoy it.
You got the Rams, Cardinals, and the Steelers, Broncos in the same slot. I mean, you're watching Bengals, Chiefs. So I expect both teams to put on a show.
I'll be watching the other one.
I mean, Rams Cardinals actually does have the potential to be a pretty good one.
It does,
but
absolutely.
And I know, real quick because I know you got a dip. I know you mentioned you want to talk about the Cards real fast before you got to leave.
Yeah, I took the Cards earlier this week. It was like minus 112 was the number I got, and before they bounced up to minus 120 and back down to 105 where they're at right now. But I was really impressed with the Cardinals against the Bills on the road in week 1. I would have maybe, I don't know how to say this without sounding like full contrarian, but I would have maybe put the Rams as the favorite in this game. So the fact that it was a pick 'em kind of made me just, okay, maybe they're giving the Cardinals a little respect that they deserved. I don't know if that's contrarian or opposite. I bet with the Plums, and the Plums told me Arizona. So come on, Betsky, go Cardinals.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight game, but man, the Rams crushed this team. So
Yeah,
we'll see. I'll be rooting for them though.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the Cardinals too. I'm not going to take it. Yeah, if I had to pick a side, I think I'd go.
This team.
Me either.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
What I will say though is that watching the game last week, because we obviously were all watching for Laporta to try to score for Trizzy. Matthew Stafford is so good at football, man. People
really
always forget how elite he is. And even though they don't have Nakua, like Cooper Kupp reminded everybody last week that Cooper Kupp is still Cooper Kupp. And as Betsky knows, Kyron Williams absolutely destroys the Cardinals.
Yes.
Destroys.
Yes,
and the Cardinals have the worst rushing defense in football. So all those things point to maybe the Rams taking this one, but the line says otherwise.
Did you guys see that one post from that guy that was saying that Joe Burrow gets more credit for one good season than Matty Stafford does for winning?
Yeah. Facts. 100%. Joe Burrow also, like, there was also the thing of people were like, they compared Joe Burrow to Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson has, MVPs and all this type of stuff. And then the alternative argument is Joe Burrow did a cool spinning video one time.
Joe Burrow is Kyrie Irving.
And he's got aura. He's got swag.
Kyrie,
dude. Dyes his hair, man. Looks like Eminem. That's so sick. Can't win a football game. That's what you get paid to do, man. You get paid to win Super Bowls. You don't get paid to look cool. You don't get paid to whatever. You get paid to win football games at the end of the day. Plain and simple.
All right, since there's four of us before Shags has to leave. Shags,
yes,
give us a side. We're gonna do a 4-leg money line parlay. 4 of us, since there's 4 of us left. 4 legs, money lines, or spreads if it's an underdog.
Any odds?
Doesn't matter.
Parlay. Okay.
Dogs. If it's a dog, let's stick with the spread. But if it's a favorite, we can go money line. You can go Chiefs if you want.
Well, for lack of saying the Chiefs, fuck, I don't know. I took me and Little Shags have Cowboys and Texans as our survivors this week.
You and your dog do?
Me and Little Shags. Me and Little Shag. Me and my dog. We got the boys and the and the Texans.
You want to take Cowboys then? I'm down for Cowboys.
Give me the Cowboys.
Minus 275.
Yeah, Saints aren't doing anything.
That'll play. Okay. Betsky?
I mean, the Colts look really nice to me.
I like it. I like
money line.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna do, yeah,
I like it.
I mean, I'm fine with the Chargers too, and I'm fine with taking the spread. To be honest,
I was gonna say the Chargers, but if you want to do Chargers, I'd rather take Chargers than Colts personally.
Okay, let's do Chargers. But do you want the money line or spread?
Let's do the money line.
Okay.
Suck.
Would you hate me if I said the Steelers?
No.
No.
Against the Broncos?
Yeah.
Just to win? I don't like the 2.5, but just to win, I'm down for.
Yeah.
Okay. Down for that. We didn't talk about this game extensively, but Niners money line.
Vikings, right?
I mean, yeah.
Against the Vikings.
The problem is, like, you look at this and like one of these teams is losing.
I know. Well, the other option, I wasn't going to make you guys bet the Titans. The other option I was going to say, the other dog I really liked, weirdly, was the Patriots +3.
Yeah, I like that.
Patriots +3.
At home against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
But I feel more comfortable with just the Niners winning against the Vikings.
Yeah. I feel like
Niners, Steelers, Chargers, Cowboys +392. That's disgusting.
Why not?
I think that'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just nice and just 4 favorites.
Right. Absolutely.
Chalk City. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Okay. Should we I feel you guys want to throw the Chiefs in just as a little
No.
It makes it No.
No.
Okay.
They're not losing.
All right.
They're not losing. Just saying.
All right, here we go. Cowboys, Chargers, Steelers, and Niners. Those 4 money lines. It's only plus 400, basically. 4 favorites. Should get the job done. Somebody's fucking it up. Who's fucking it up, chat? Where did we fumble the bag?
Or are we
Let us
just
know.
putting in the cheat code for the weekend?
Or are we geniuses? Yeah. Or we just created the easiest parlay of all time. That's going to look like really smart.
Real quick, in that Pittsburgh and Broncos game, I do like Jaleel McLaughlin, his rushing yards. He outpaced Javonte last week. I think his rushing yards is only 28.5. I do really like that. And the tight end for the Steelers, Pat Freiermuth, I played his yards last week too. A hit was 23.5. I think it's down to 22.5 this week. I think he's very good. I think Justin Fields will throw to him a few times. Fields was like 17 of 23, not tossing the ball a lot, but tossing it to that his tight end a decent amount.
On that point, actually, about quarterbacks, we saw a lot of quarterbacks struggle in week 1, which a lot of them didn't play in the preseason. It takes time to get in comfortable in new offenses, all that type of stuff. I think we start to see maybe some quarterbacks kind of return back to form this week, and it starts to slowly build. Not every single one's going to just have a massive week, but I think we start to see slowly building quarterbacks like, the pass offenses start to kind of gel a little more over the next couple of weeks. And I think that starts this week in a couple games too. So could be one of those spots as well.
Definitely.
All right, boys. Chat. It's been an absolute pleasure talking week 2 with you guys today. We've talked about it a lot all week. Hopefully going through most of the games with you guys in the chat was helpful. Hopefully we helped you guys smack some tickets today. We appreciate you guys tuning in right here on the Betting News Network to get you guys ready to rock and roll for week 2. Go follow Shaggy Bets on Twitter. Go follow Gretzky Betskis. Go follow Just Sook. Go follow myself. It's Sweatpants Jesus. Go follow all of us at Your Betting News. Give us a follow as well on here on Twitch if you haven't already. It is September, so you get a chance to get a discounted sub if you have not already subbed to the channel. Everything we do right here is for free, but if you guys want to give us some extra support and get a free sub, you don't have to watch ads. Feel free to do so for this month. It is discounted, which we love to see. We will be back with you guys tomorrow for afternoon Espresso on Monday to talk all about Monday Night Football and also give you guys the vibes to start your week. We go live every single day, so if you like what you saw, if this is your first time tapping in, come and hang out with us the next time. Boys, you got any final words before we get out of here and enjoy a beautiful day of week 2 football?
Go Bucks.
Chiefs are losing. You're crazy.
Kyron Williams.
Titans to the moon, baby. You guys came for the winners and you stayed for the vibes. Have a fantastic Sunday. Enjoy these games today, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Peace.
Woo-hoo. What you know about rolling down in the deep? Down in the deep. Now I know we all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about